What we have here is a boost. A signal boost. A boost for comic book Kickstarter campaigns. Brought to you by Spoiler Country. Each episode we bring you current campaigns that we think you should support, talk with the creators to give you insight into the project, and spread the love of indie comic books. Now sit back, grab a drink, and listen to what we have to offer you today.
All right, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kendrick, and that is Mr. Horsley. And today on our show, it's another Kickstarter signal boost. Number 10.
Number 10.
Yeah, and we got some really cool stuff to bring you guys. A new person, a new face, and some old faces that have new campaigns that are running. This is exciting. That's right. I like this. I like the fact that they've come to us before, had a good experience, and now they're coming back because it was such a good experience.
Right. It's great. And it also helped too that, I kind of slacked this last month on getting people scheduled for this due to all the chaos that's been going on in both the podcast world and personal life. Yeah.
Right.
So I was able to snag people at the last minute that you know that we knew that had Kickstarters. Like, hey, you have another one going on. Let's have you back on. And it worked out great.
Yeah, that's cool. So today we have 4 amazing things. Or 4 amazing Kickstarters, I should say. Not 4 amazing things. They are things.
They're things. They're Kickstarters. They're fun
esoteric things at this point.
Yeah.
But they will become physical things for you to enjoy if you so choose. And the 4 people that we have today is Danny J. Quick with Aceblade. He has been on the show before. You guys should like him, should know him with Fourth Wall Productions. We have Kendrick with Spoiler Country. Can't wait to hear what that guy has to say.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure it was completely dorky. And then we have Jen Arledge with Alex Priest, number 3.
Yep.
And that'll always exciting. And then with the newcomer is Gabriel Ramirez with FiveStar.
Yeah. And what's fun is when we get to that one, I'll tell you something fun about that one too.
Cool. All right. Well, let's kick this thing off with Danny J. Quick and Aceblade.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You know who it is. It's your boy, Danny J. Quick, CEO of Fourth Wall Productions. I'm here. What am I here for? I'm here to tell you about my Kickstarter. So Aceblade is coming back to Kickstarter for the 4th and almost maybe the final time to wrap up this last chapter of the Aceblade Origin series. And I need your help. May 5th, we are going back on there and we're going to launch, and we're doing the 100-page Ultimate Edition, and I would appreciate it if you would all check it out. And to entice you even more, for my Spoiler Country family, I'm going to give you a free comic book.
Oh, hey.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's right.
How'd they get
that? We're going to give you guys a promo code. If you go over to our website and put Aceblade number 1 in your cart and use the promo code SPOILER, you can get that comic book for free. Just use that promo code.
That's awesome.
And that's how we're going to do that.
Yeah. Now, if you're listening, definitely go do that and check it out because it's an awesome book. And then go to Kickstarter, hit the link down below, or just go to Kickstarter and search for Aceblade. Back that book. It's 100 pages. Now, Danny, what do they get in that 100 pages? What is that? What is all in that 100-page book?
The 100 pages is going to include the first 4 Aceblade comics. It's going to include 4 more mini comics that expand on the Aceblade lore, introduce some of his villains and stuff like that, and then, of course, you get some of the behind the scenes stuff that you would never get anywhere else from the Fourth Wall crew. You can meet too. So,
Danny, whatever you just said dropped out.
Oh, did I drop out? What was I at? What did I say?
You said
basically. Why don't you just start off with what do you get in that 100-page book? Because it basically dropped off most of it.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
So maybe, Johnny, you just ask him the question again.
I'll ask the question again once you're ready, Danny.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. So, Danny, in that 100 pages, what do you get?
And he's gone. Oh,
of course.
Fucking Skype.
Right? That's why I fucking hate Skype.
Yeah.
But it works. I mean, I don't, it kind of.
He's gone. He hasn't come back yet.
Yeah. Let's see.
I wonder if he can hear us.
Funny. Start talking shit.
Well, it's just like when we were on that other podcast.
I know, right? Oh, no, he
just
dropped out. Oh, damn. So while we're here with just you and me, I asked Jeff Schutze about animating a little intro for us, what the actual price were. And he says it's about $500 for a 15-second short and $1,000 for 15 to 45 seconds.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
You're back.
I don't know what's going on, man. I know my signal is strong here.
The signal is strong with this one.
Okay, let me try it one more time.
Let's jump back. I'll ask the question again. Let's from that point, we'll just keep going from there, okay?
All right.
So, Danny, in that 100 pages, what do you get?
In the 100 pages, you're going to get 4 Aceblade comics. That's the whole Vigilante Complex arc, which is the origin arc. Then you get 4 more mini comics that expands on the Aceblade, his rogues gallery. So you meet some of the villains there. And then, of course, you get some behind the scenes stuff too. So some special stuff that you'll only get in this Kickstarter.
That's
awesome.
That's pretty cool. So what's your goal set out for this book?
Oh, we're only set at 1,600. So we got, we already got the first 3 books done. So, and we already paid for the down payment on this one. So we're not really worried about, too much work. We just gotta, hold on. Somebody's coming in the house. Gosh, these guys. Okay.
You're
All right,
the
one more
CEO
time.
of Fourth Wall Production, man. You're a busy, busy man.
Yeah, you are.
This ain't no joke.
You got shit to do.
Yeah, you got stuff to do. People to meet.
So, I tell people, I'm like, give me 20 minutes. Just give me 20 minutes of silence so I can do this.
Right. I got to talk to Spoiler Country, man. Give me some time.
Okay. All right, one more time. I promise I'll get it this time.
That's all right. All right. So we'll go back to the whole thing. All right. All right, Danny. So in that 100 pages, what do you get for that?
On 100 pages, you get 4 Aceblade comics, of course.
Oh my God. This is like not meant to be. What the hell?
Oh my God. Are you back, Danny?
Are you back?
Oh God.
Did it drop out?
Yeah. As soon as you start talking, gone.
Oh man.
Yo, I'm over here just to talk, and I didn't even know that I had dropped out.
All right.
We just started laughing because we knew exactly when you dropped out, and Johnny and I were that was it. We were just busting a gut.
I think I actually got enough from the last one before, so let's go ahead and go to the outro for this section here. It's going to be a lot of editing, but I'll edit it together just fine to where it all flows perfectly.
It might be great because this is really funny, so it might just go. Aceblade, Kickstarter, do it.
Do it. Yeah, get out there, click the link, back it. Danny's a friend of the show. He's giving you the link to go to their website, which is, what's your website, Danny?
It's fourthwallpros.com/shop.
Right. Go there, put that Aceblade #1 to your cart, the digital version, put in spoiler, and check it out. You're going to love it. Yep. I swear to God, you're going to love it.
Free. Where are you going to get that? That doesn't happen.
Right. Get it free, then go buy then go back and buy the big book, the 100 pages, because 100-page books, that's nothing to laugh. That's nothing to be shy about, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. We've been working hard, but y'all know.
Yeah, you work hard.
Yeah,
man.
we do.
Thanks for coming on the show, Dan. We have you on all the time. We look forward to having you on again.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Y'all have a nice day.
Last story of Aceblade. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, collecting in a 100-page collection to put all the 4 stories together into one. So you can read the whole thing. I already backed it when it first went up because I've read the first 3 already, and I want to read the final one. I don't own any of them. Danny was nice enough to send me digital copies to read the first 3.
Because that's how we roll, man. We're just that cool.
We are that cool that we get people to send us copies to review. I mean, actually, that is really cool. I'm in awe of that. It's
happens. Very cool. It's very cool. It's humbling, actually. Even though Dennis Karen came on, he didn't like us saying humbling, but it is humbling that you're giving us your art and your words to read and tell you what we think when you're, that's your livelihood. So the fact that you're trusting us with this stuff, it is humbling.
It is, and I put my money where my mouth is. I like Aceblade, so I bought the book for it. So I'll be getting one of those myself.
That's awesome.
Which is cool. Yeah.
So,
and we love Danny because Danny's come on the show multiple times.
Yeah, Danny's great. Morgan, we love you too. Don't worry about it.
But right now it's all about Danny because Morgan's not here. All right.
All right. Next on our show is Kenrick with Spoiler Country. This is going to be a hot one.
Hey, what's up? All right, so we're already recording, so I'm gonna do the thing. We're gonna start it. Okay, you ready?
I will do my best.
All right. So, what we do is we start off by saying your name, and then you say which Kickstarter it is, and you kind of give the elevator pitch for it, and we jump into it. Okay?
Okay. My name is Kenrick Regan. I'm the co-host of Spoiler Country, and I'm here today to talk about the Spoiler Country Kickstarter to get us down to San Diego. We're having, it costs a lot of money to get down to San Diego Comic-Con, and we have our tickets already, but we really want to be able to offset some of that pricing or some of that cost so that we can produce and provide as much entertainment as possible. So we're really looking forward to getting down there, getting as many interviews as we can, and sharing the experiences as it comes.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That sounds like a really, really fun idea. That's really cool.
Yeah. I got a good co-host that comes along and has some ideas every once in a while. And we both thought, why not do a Kickstarter to try to help us out?
So what kind of things are people getting for supporting you?
Well, we have digital comic bundles. We have a signed headshot of both my co-host and I.
That's cool. I want one of those.
You should, because it'll look really good in your living room.
It'll look great.
Propped up against the fireplace.
My wife will love it.
Yes, she will. And of course, you can get commissions of artwork from both hosts.
Oh, that's cool.
Just one might be a little better than the other, Kenrick.
Yeah,
but
clearly Kenrick's the better artist of the two. Clearly.
Right. No schooling, never done any kind of professional work, but he's clearly the better stick figure artist. I'm probably not even at that, so it's all good.
He's really the second best artist on the show, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He might even be the third.
Right. It's debatable.
I mean, the co-host is definitely the second not worst.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
He's the second worst.
He's the second worst. Yeah, he's the second worst.
Yeah, clearly. That's cool.
Clearly.
So, that's exciting. People love to go to Comic-Con, and people always want to go to San Diego. So the fact that you guys are going to go down there and put out a show a day, which I'm assuming you're doing because you guys did that last year, and do interviews and con reports. It sounds like
that's right.
It's
a
awesome.
Show a day. It's going to happen.
Right.
It's going to be amazing. It's us trying to share our experience with our audience.
How do you do a show a day? That's insane. Especially while going to Comic-Con. How do you manage to put out a show a day?
I mean, we get up early and we go to bed late. And we get back from the Comic-Con, we are recording, and then we sit and edit as soon as we're done recording and get it published ASAP.
That's insane.
That's how it happens. It is insane, actually.
I don't know if I could ever do that with my podcast. If I could ever put that kind of effort into making sure shows go out every day while at a con. So big hats off and kudos to you, Kenrick, and your co-host. That's great.
Thanks, man. Talk about this.
All right, man. So links in the description down below to the Spoiler Country Kickstarter for getting Kenrick and his co-host to San Diego Comic-Con. I highly suggest you go and support it. It sounds like an awesome cause, and I will definitely be back on this one myself.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, that sounds fun. 5 shows in 5 days.
That sounds amazing. I don't know why you kept saying Kickstarter, because Indiegogo, everybody knows that.
Yeah, it's on Indiegogo, so the links for that is down in the show notes, But, going down to San Diego to do 5 shows in 5 days, you guys need to get out there to support that one. If anything else, support that one.
We just need help with some executive producing.
Not we, they do.
Yeah, they do. Okay. Now you made it totally confusing for me. That's right. Kenrick with Spoiler Country and whoever his co-host is need help with executive producing of some highly professional episodes within and around San Diego Comic-Con.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Let's get this show rolling. Next on our list, Jen Arledge with Alex Priece, number 3.
Hi, I'm Jen Arledge, founder of Arledge Comics and creator of Alex Priece. Our third installment is right now on Kickstarter. We did a soft launch yesterday, actually, because the official launch is today, May 15th. But we did a soft launch yesterday, and we've already surpassed 50% of our goal.
Awesome. So, that's awesome.
So, yeah, we had a really explosive first day that I'm super stoked about.
That's always fun to have when you kick out first day and get halfway there, or, you know.
Right.
That's amazing. So this is issue 3 of Alex Priece?
Yes, 3 of 5 in this story arc.
Oh, is this like the middle? This is the meat of the story.
Yeah, well, it's actually the way that the story got set up. The way the story got set up, you have 2 mini arcs at the beginning and end. And this third issue is almost like an interlude. We introduce our main villain for the first time.
Ooh.
So it's got a really great reveal in it, but it's got a lot of character building and a lot of relationship building, not just between Alex and Janelle, but between a bunch of different characters, and showing character dynamics that we haven't been able to explore before.
Awesome.
So it's a really nice interlude, and a really nice break from the heavy-hitting action of issues 1 and 2, and sets up more angst to build the tension going into issue 4.
Awesome. So for our listeners who haven't heard the last time you were on talking about this, why don't you give us the rundown of what the story's about?
Okay, so Alex Priece has, thankfully, by a con goer that I met last month, has been called the unofficial sequel to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
Right? So everyone knows at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, spoiler alert, at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all the Slayers are awakened.
Right.
And so in Alex Priece, vampire hunting has become a blue-collar job. Because you've got all these Slayers, all these vampires, someone's got to manage them. Well, that someone is LCMB, Living Corpses That Bite, which is headed up by Andrea McKnight. So Alex is a vampire hunter in this world. And through a corporate merger, because of course companies do that, through a corporate merger, Alex is partnered with the nation's leading magical analyst, Janelle Garcia, who just so happens to be Alex's ex-girlfriend. So it's a little bit of relationship angst. It's a lot of bit of bloody action and hard-hitting adventure. And Comic Central named issue 1 Comic of the Year. Best queer comic.
That's really cool.
Issue 2 got a lot of really good feedback, positive reviews from pretty much everyone who's picked it up. So I'm really excited to be introducing issue 3.
So what's your timeline to get the last 2 out?
I'm hoping to get Kickstart issue 4 later this year. And then I'm not sure if I want to kickstart issue 5 or just go for a trade. But I think I'm leaning towards kickstarting issue 5 and then collecting it all as a trade after that. Because I don't want to stiff backers that have been going issue to issue, and then now you have to buy the whole collection.
The OCD collector, would be so annoyed by that.
Right, same.
I've got 1 through 4. Where's number 5? I don't want to buy the trade to get 5. I want the 5 and the trade.
Right. So I'm hoping early next year to launch issue 5 and collect this arc, and then decide where I want to go with the characters. Because this story is sadly really close to being done. But I've gotten a lot of really great feedback on the characters, on the world. People they love Alex, they love Janelle. And I think they're really going to love this demon character I'm playing with that I get to finally introduce.
Nice. Nice.
So, people really love the characters. So, this isn't the end for Alex and Janelle.
Okay.
It's just, the end of this story.
Cool. And let's see. Are you doing any cons coming up, or do you have cons going for the rest of the year? Are you going to be anywhere fun?
Oh, sweet Jesus, do I have so many cons.
That's why I asked.
So this year has been really convention heavy for me. It's my first year doing conventions, and I have gone, God forbid, all out. Because I want to do the ones that aren't going to be good for me next year.
Mm-hmm.
And do all the ones that are good, so I know how to plan my schedule for next year.
Right.
But coming up, I'm at the Vancouver Comic Arts Festival this weekend, up in Vancouver, BC. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm over in Spokane, Washington for Lilac City Comic Con. And then I'm taking summer break like a student. And I will be at Rose City later this year. Alex Priest #3 will premiere at Rose City Comic Con.
Nice.
The cover artist, Missy, if you're listening, I'm going to butcher your name because I'm white and I'm sorry. But
that's a great way to start it out.
I know, right? But Missy Pena, who does the cover art for Steven Universe, she's our cover artist for issue 3.
Oh, that's cool.
And she too will be at Rose City Comic Con this year.
Oh, so pick it up and get it signed by both of you, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a double deal.
So I'm really
no San Diego for you?
No San Diego for me. I went to Vegas earlier this year for Klexicon, and I'm hoping to stay in the Pacific Northwest until next year.
San Diego's a big cost to get down there, just to get down there and do stuff from here.
Right. And I mean, we're lucky enough in the Pacific Northwest to have like Emerald City Comic Con.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna hit that one before I hit any bigger ones outside the state.
Okay, so you are planning. I was gonna say you should definitely do Emerald City next year.
Here applications open in June, so I'm hoping. Fingers are crossed.
Hopefully, I mean you've got a good track record going so far, so you should be pretty good.
Yeah, I hope to.
Yeah. Well, as always, I clearly like having you on because this is the 4th time you've been on the show. So when you have another one or we want to come on and just talk about something, I'd love to have you come back on.
I'm quite charming. Your listeners must adore me.
I agree. I can't argue that. I mean, really, I can't. Because if I argue that, then I'm an asshole. So I just can't argue that. Well, Jen, thanks so much for talking with me. Everybody listening, there'll be a link in the description, or go to Kickstarter and just search for Alex Priece. You'll find it. But I'll have the link down there, and I'll be tweeting out about it once this goes up. Again, thank you for coming on. I look forward to talking to you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so we got Jen is back with number 3. It's the middle of her 5-story arc, so it's.
Did you say number 3? Cool.
I might have. I don't know.
I'm just making sure, like you were going to say thrice, and then your mind said, no, it's 3, and then you came out with threes.
Whatever I said is what I said. I can't go back on it now. So
no, you can't go back. But when you go back and listen, I want to know. Did you say threes?
I have no idea. Anyways, it's the middle of her 5-story arc. It's the middle of their 5-story arc. It sounds awesome. I mean, I like the first 2 that I read, so I'm excited to read the next one.
Yeah, they've done a good job on that whole series. So it's good.
Yep, it was great.
All right. And now the last guy on our list, you said you have a story for us about this, and it's Gabriel Ramirez with FiveStar.
Yeah, so this is somebody on Facebook had tagged, post your Kickstarters, and I posted a thing saying, "Hey, we do this once a month." So I was trying to get one more person to be the 4th one on this show, and he messaged me and said, "Hey, I can do it right now." And he had a Kickstarter, so I got on Skype with him earlier today, and
just today,
earlier today, and he's a publisher for his own company, Monkey Ink Press, or Monkey Comics Inc. Monkey Comics Inc.
Monkey Comics Inc. That's cool.
God, I hope that's right. If it's not, I'll hit myself. Super cool dude. And we ended up talking for like almost 16 to 20 minutes about his publishing company and comics in general, and why we both love comics and why we love comics being so much so that I'm like, dude, I have to schedule to come back on to talk with my co-host to me, because the 3 of us will be talking for hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy.
That'll be a lot of fun. All right. Well, let's hear Gabriel in his own words.
All right, my name is Gabriel Ramirez. I am publisher of Crazy Monkey Inc., We're an independent comic book publisher, and we are doing a Kickstarter for Tony Clapper's FiveStar #2. That is the first superhero comic book to be introduced into our imprint. FiveStar #1 was our first successful Kickstarter. We delivered on time, and here we are for the second action-packed issue.
Nice. So what's it about?
It follows the adventures of Kevin Terry, who is an average guy that went through a horrific accident, but due to side effects of this accident, he develops superpowers. And, of course, in this day and age, if anybody becomes augmented or super, the government's going to snatch you up.
Right.
So this follows the adventures of a young, optimistic guy trying to be that superhero, trying to be that role model, and all of the complications that ensue and go with that.
Nice. Sounds interesting. So is this an ongoing series or is it a mini series?
This is. Now, see, Crazy Monkey Inc., we're being an independent publisher. We have ongoing titles, but we don't do books monthly. We do books quarterly.
Okay.
So every ongoing title with Crazy Monkey Inc. should release a book 4 times a year.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So this comes out issue 2. So in 3 months from now, people can expect issue 3 to come out, and so on and so forth. Is it
exactly
cool? And I'm assuming they're done in story arcs where somebody could follow like the first 6 issues to follow one story. Is that how it works? Is that how you're doing it?
Well, you know what? Each creator has a different idea. Mm-hmm. Our end goal with anything is after 4 or 5 issues, maybe even 6, put them into graphic novels so that people can grab them. But like I said, every different creator has different amount of arcs. With this being a superhero story, and this is kind of our love letter to Marvel and DC Comics, you know what I mean?
Right.
5 basically are Superman, Spider-Man type of figure. So they're all self-contained stories that any reader can jump onto, but there is a continuing narrative, which is basically Kevin Terry learning how to be the man he wants to be.
Interesting. Sounds cool. So you how much time do you have left in your campaign? You have 16 days. Nice. So you should have no problem hitting your goal from the looks of it, from where you're at, how much time you have left. It looks really good. Now, is that do you have variant covers or one cover for the book? 'Cause I'm seeing 2 different covers here.
Well, actually, what you're seeing is one is the actual cover to the second issue.
Okay.
The other is a promotional print.
Gotcha. Okay.
One thing I would like to do is with being an independent comic book publisher, the biggest nut you're always trying to crack is distribution, you know?
Right.
And trying to get into comic book shops, while it is a lofty dream and something every young comic book creator wants to do, if he was a fan since the kid, he wants to go to the comic book shop and pick his book up the shelves, you know?
Yeah.
While that's a wonderful dream and an amazing fantasy, in this day and age, any and all distribution is the best, and you want to get the widest audience possible. So with Crazy Monkey Inc., we are not running Kickstarters for funding. I've been around for 5 years. I started collecting other creators and publishing their works 4 years ago.
Nice.
And we are producing books. We are publishing books. We are putting out books. We are trying to gain steam, momentum, and trust with readers and build a base and a brand. So for us, Kickstarter isn't about funding. It's about pre-ordering. These books, you understand that?
Yeah.
These books are in production as we speak. These books are coming out regardless. So what we are trying to do, what me as a publisher, I was looking around to find the most easily accessible way to find, build, and grow our audience. And in this age and day of technology and interaction and social media, Kickstarter was something that I saw people out there saying, hey, I want to get this made. Hey, I want to do this, you know, and finding people that would support them. And when I looked at that, I thought, well, hell, I'm not out here looking for funding. I'm out here doing it. And I want these other comic book fans and readers to know, hey, here's a book. It's coming out. It's going to be delivered. It's going to be in your hands. You're going to love it if it's what you're into. So I took that Kickstarter idea and turned it into a pre-order campaign for us.
That's
so
awesome.
when you Oh, I love it because what it does is it builds trust with the reader. It's showing them, it's basically a month-long trailer to get you pumped up, to get your copy, to get your book, and to get it in your hands to read what you want to read. We have started a thing where 14 days after a successful campaign, we're shipping books. You know what I mean?
That's quick.
That's it.
Quick, dude.
Yeah, it's quick, and what it is, it's building trust with our readers. It's letting them know we are making books, man.
Yeah.
We don't need your money to make books. We want you to buy books. We want you to read books. We want you to get engrossed in our characters, engage in what the visions these creators have, dig our art, enjoy our stories, and that's what we're after. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man. Where were you when I was looking for a publisher for my book a couple years ago? This is great.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't know how much time you have, so I'm going to ramble until you cut me off. But 5 years ago, I was an indie artist that I had my own idea, my own characters, and I just wanted to tell my own stories, you know?
Right.
So I launched Crazy Monkey Inc. with the intention of doing Midnight's Avenger, which is we're going on our 5th issue. 4 issues are now available through our website. And then I went on to Death Squad Zero, another creator-owned title of my own. But I was busy with Midnight's Avenger, so I had another writer do a script and an artist do the art, and I published that, and it was great. And then along came Jared Gifford, who is the creator-writer of Darum, Captain of the Stars, which is the first book that I picked up being an independent publisher. And then from there, we just steamrolled to where we are now.
That is awesome.
It's fun. It's really fun. I tell you what, this June, we are launching a Kickstarter pre-order for Furious. Now, I don't know if your fans know, but Furious was published by Dark Horse Comics. It was written by award-winning creator-writer Brian J. Al Glass, who's done work for Superman. He's done work for Thor. He's done work for Image Comics. He got awards for his Templar, the Mice of the Templar book.
Nice.
Really very, very talented creator. Dark Horse and Brian decided they wanted to go different avenues, and I was lucky enough to pick up the book. So with this June, we're doing pre-orders for Furious, which is coming to us from Dark Horse Comics. So I am super pumped with what we're doing and where we're going.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Congrats on that. That's cool. Just the fact I've been a writer artist for since the early 2000s myself. And then I did podcasting, as a fun way to talk and meet new people and talk about comics, because I live and grew up around comics, man. And I do shows and I sell books of my own and stuff like that. But in hearing people and their ideas of how to make things work, it's just cool, man. I love that's why I started this Kickstarter Signal Boost episodes, is to talk to people and like just hear their stories of how they get their books out and what they're doing. And I love indie comics and just creators making their books and getting it out there. It's always fun.
You know what? Everything you said, not only do I agree with it, but I feel the exact same way. It's crazy. I remember clearly being, I think it was 9-10 years old and seeing a G.I. Joe comic book in a 7-Eleven store on the rack.
Yeah.
And I could not believe what I was seeing. I begged to get that comic book. I mean, this is when they were 75 cents?
About that,
something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And from there came Spider-Man. From there came Batman. And I was off in the races. And, there was something at that time of reading these stories and seeing these people trying to be the best they could. And if you were a true monthly reader, you saw the struggles of Peter Parker, and it wasn't just about fighting bad guys. It was about telling the truth or lying or making a bad choice and the repercussions of it. And, there's always interactions between not only Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but, Octavius and Dr. Octopus, or Ned Leeds and the Hobgoblin. It was so layered, and it's all about, to me, as a creator, writer, it's all about a character, the decisions he makes, why he makes them, and what happens when he makes those decisions,
Yeah.
And if you're writing comic books, and you are, that's where the meat is. And being an indie publisher, I'm seeing so many different creators, writers, artists put their own visions out here, and to be able to publish books that other people are doing, and I can be entertained as a fan. It's just amazing.
It is.
Not only as a creator to see the process, but as a fan to read what I dig anyways.
Right? It's great.
A joy. It's a joy. And I'm sure you agree. It's a joy.
It is. For me, you mentioned G.I. Joe on the show. For me, I was probably I had to be like 10, maybe 10 years old. I'd already read some Superman and Batman comics, but I remember it vividly. The book that got me into wanting to draw and write and read more comic books was I went to the grocery store, the little red Apple store from my house when I grew up. And on the shelf was Wolverine number 50 by Larry Hama, that yellow copy with the claws cut in the front of it.
Oh my Lord, Mark Silvestri artwork.
Yep. I saw that and I was like, I picked it up and the writing was good. The art was good. They had the die cut cover and I was like, I am fucking hooked.
And well, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but you decided to talk about a book that not only do I know exactly what you're talking about, that die cut cover, that thick, the claws in the middle, there slashed down. That right there was Mark Silvestri artwork, a Larry Hama story.
Yep.
It was part of one of the best Wolverine sagas of that whole series.
Absolutely.
There was no way, if you saw that book and you picked it up and you were a kid that liked action, there was no way you weren't going to become a collector. I mean, you picked up the right book at the right time, man. Congratulations. You got the fever.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. It's capitulated. You know, it's been going on since then, you know, 25, 30 years later. I'm still collecting books. I write and I draw, and, you know, my kids read them. My two daughters actually have a story coming out in an anthology, and they're 9, or they're 10 and 7 years old. So it's a whole thing, man.
Well, you know, it's crazy when you talk about this. I love comic books. I love the comic book medium. I love creating. I love sharing. I try and keep that positivity and that love out in my website, on my Facebook page, on my Instagram. I try not to get into anything that's less than joyful about the production, the reading, the collecting of comic books, right?
Right.
But every once in a while, you see these posts like, "Oh, is the medium dying? Oh, is comic books dying?"
Yes.
And I was lucky enough, I was blessed enough to be a comic book reader in the 80s when, if you were a comic book reader, you had to search high and low to find another comic book reader. Like, when you were a comic book reader, you were a rare breed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was a hardcore, and I got to see the medium grow, and then I got to see it dive, and I got to see it grow, and then I got to see it dive.
Yep.
I got to see toys being introduced, which brought up readership, but then it kind of died back to the hardcores, and then animation, then the movies. It's always hills and valleys. But you know what never changes? That feeling that you got when you picked up your first comic book and you read that Wolverine 50 and you couldn't believe the interaction of reading, art, and you, and the what it takes to be when you're with a book, it's an interactive experience. You're filling in the gaps of the panels. Oh, yeah. You're imagining the voices. You're sound effects. You're putting in music if you're like me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that feeling is such a unique feeling that there is a man that is a kid at this point, a woman that is a girl at this point, that is going to look at the medium, is going to find the medium and fall in love with it for the art form that it is. So for me, comic books will never die. Same. It may grow, and it may shrink, but for us hardcores, it's going to be here forever, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been reading them since the late 90s. I'm not going to stop now. I'm never going to stop. It's just, they're so much fun. There's
no feeling like it.
Right. It's literally the one medium of telling stories where anything is possible, because you have both the visual and the reading aspect of it. So your brain will fill in the gaps because you have a visual to look at, but it's not as much as a movie showing you everything. You can fill it in yourself, and it just, if you want to have your guy fight 10 giant squids, you can do that in a comic book, and you can actually make it make sense in a comic book. That's what I love about it. There's no bearings of what you can't do.
Yes. Well, you know what's funny? For me being a publisher, I look at it as one way. As a creator and writer, one way. As an artist, another way. As a fan, a reader, another way.
Right.
And one of the greatest things for me as a creator for comic books is that when you are telling these stories and you are creating these for the reader, it's you're giving them something you created, and you don't know how they receive it. Right. They receive it the way they ingest it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're giving them a comic book and you're telling a grand story of the squid aliens from the planet Walwala and the Sir Seepins that are coming through and the spaceship is coming down and you have one choice. It's of one of two evils and what heroic choice you're going to make because you have your family you have to get home to and this wormhole and this time portal is going to, you don't know what's going to happen. Right? Now, in all of these fantastical elements, there is a personal story of, is there a loved one I'm trying to get to?
Right.
There's always more meat and soul in the superhero medium and more realism in the personal experience because you have these fantastical scenarios. You know what I mean? So you're able to balance the fantastic with the real in a way that nothing else can. You know?
Oh yeah.
Even when you're watching a movie. Even when you're watching a movie with CGI, at some point your brain is like, this is just a movie or this is CGI or no. But with a comic book, you have to invest in it. You know what I mean? You have to invest in the artwork. You have to invest in the story, which makes it more real, which makes, I think, the experience so unique.
I agree 100% because it's just there's so much you can do in a comic book you can't even do in a movie just because the fact when somebody says a line in a comic book in a movie, it can come out cheesy or come out not correct. When you read it in a comic book, you read it in your voice, your head, your brain makes it make sense, makes it be okay, makes this silly line be okay.
Yeah, and each reader reads it differently. Some reader might read it with sass. Some reader might read it with humor. Right. Some reader might read it with urgency. And then that reader, what kind of music is in the background? And what you know what? It's just there's so much lifting on both sides, and you just don't get that with anything else. You really don't.
Yeah, and what's great about comics too is if you and I watch the same movie, we're probably going to have the general same reaction to that movie with some variances here and there. With a comic book or comic book story, you and I can have very different reactions because of how we interpret the characters in that story, just off the bat right there.
Absolutely. And then you introduce the element of a different type of artist, a different type of writer, what type of style they're using, what type of style you're into. I mean, I'm on, baby. This is art. This is art.
It's, oh man, I could talk to you all day about this, but what I'll do is we'll end this here for the Signal Boost episode, but I'll have to have you come back on for a full episode with my co-host and we'll talk the love of comic books like we had, because we'll talk all day.
Tell you what, bro, if you message me and you say, let's get on talk comic books, I'm going to answer and I'm going to show up every time.
Sounds good, man. I like it. There'll be links in the down in the description for anybody listening who wants to go and check it out on Kickstarter. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been a great pleasure talking with you, and I will definitely have you on again.
Absolutely. You have a great one. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
That guy seems like a really cool guy. I can't wait to have him on again.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was a lot of fun. I talked to him a little bit afterwards, and he's. I told him, I got to have you come back on. So he's all game for that. So,
well, there you guys go. 3 amazing Kickstarters, 1 Indiegogo.
Yeah,
get out there, open up those wallets, and give some love.
Yeah, and if you can't open the wallets, use your credit card. That's why you have them.
Use your credit card. Well, a lot of times those are stored in your wallet, but yeah. Use your credit card.
If they're not, some people store them in their phones these days. I don't know.
And the last ditch thing that you can do, if you cannot actually help financially with these people, share.
That's right.
Share across your social media.
Share it everywhere. Share it to your mom. Share it to your grandmas. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
We always say share to your mom or tell your mom or your grandpa. We never say tell your dad or your grandfather. We never
talk
about dads.
You always say share to your mom.
So I am the sexist one here. Got it.
Well, there you guys go. I think that's a good show and a good note to end on. Don't forget, we are available everywhere podcasts are heard. Open up that podcatcher on your phone and just look for Spoiler Country, and we'll be there.
You'll see us. Yeah, and if you want to talk to us, you can email us at spoilercountry@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at spoiler_country. We're active there all day long. You can hit us up on Facebook, on Instagram. You can give us a phone call, leave a voicemail at 707-656-2080. That's again, 707-656-2080. Just give a call, leave a voicemail. We're going to do something with them eventually, but right now we're just holding on to them for now. And, if you want to see us at a convention, the only con we have lined up for us to be at right now is San Diego Comic-Con, which we talked about.
Yeah, baby.
Which, that Kenrick dude talked about in that boost about us or that his podcast going to it. So Get out there and back that and help us out.
Sexy.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be at San Diego Comic-Con in July, and we're going to be around doing more stuff. We got a lot of fun stuff planned up for everybody. So, you know, if you have questions, send them to us. If you have comments, send them to us. If you want to tell us we suck or we're awesome, send it to us.
Or voicemail us. Come on, do it.
Yeah, voicemail us. Do it.
All right, we're out of here, guys. Don't forget, open up that mind and read more.